Shannon Sharpe's own attorney backing the bus over him, throwing him on the ground, just backing a bus over his client. I don't get this. I don't understand it. I don't see how it happened. This Shannon Sharpe is going to be Lee Harvey Oswald. I'm just a patsy. I'm not saying that he didn't violate this young woman, but damn, with this type of lawyering, boy, this ain't Johnny Cochran. This ain't, if the glove don't fit, you must acquit. This is somebody coming into the courtroom like, dog, he did it, and we tried to pay $10 million to get this wench to shut up. Didn't happen. Let's play the clip. SOT 6.
Did you and Shannon offer to settle these accusations?
Yes, there was a settlement offer made by Mr. Sharpe. I will only generally say to you that it was in the tens of millions of dollars demanded by the plaintiff in return for her silence. That's under any definition commonly understood. That is blackmail. And Mr. Sharpe was willing to pay an amount in the tens of millions of dollars, but no final agreement could be reached. And we thought we were still in the middle of discussions when, without warning, the mediator, who's a retired judge, ourselves as lawyers, without any prior warning, still thinking that we were close to a final agreement, the plaintiff and her lawyer from Houston filed a case in Texas publicly accusing my client of lies and willful, harmful lies by using the rape word when it was she knows, 100% knows, and the evidence will show that she knew that this was entirely consensual. So we were of the belief on our side that we had an agreement without any warning. Not even the mediator, who is a retired judge, was given a warning out of courtesy. This case was filed and the public charges went throughout the media before we even knew that the discussions were over and the case had been filed.
Did y'all hear that? Did y'all hear the same thing I just heard? The man started out, she was blackmailing us. That was blackmail. And we were willing to meet her blackmail demands. Shannon Sharpe was going to give her $10 million. And then without any warning, she says, nah, I'm filed this $50 million suit. Screw the tens of millions of dollars. I want to take Shannon down. This woman don't care about the money. She's got dirt on Shannon Sharpe. He knows it's an impossible explanation. The woman was 19 when they met. The dude, he was 54. Yeah, look, this is a cautionary tale. You can make fun of me. You can not like me. You can think I'm jealous. You can think, oh, Jason, this doesn't like me.
Salute, everybody. We back with another one. Listen, man, we got Shannon Sharpe, y'all. $50 million lawsuit. But then you got us. Shaq is involved in a secret plot, so we got Shaq plot. It's crazy. Then we got Tory Lanez exposes the jail and what's going on from free world to the jail. So he's talking about outside incel in an interview, breaking bombshell interview. We got to get into that. Salute to that. All right. Then we got to get into Bricc Baby makes Luce Cannon roll it up. And then Luce Cannon responding back to this or something like that. Well, we got to get into that breakdown. Salute to all of that. All right. We got a lot to break down today. We got paperwork as well to back up anything or to figure out anything in this case or in the big Eureka. We got all of the paperwork there as well. So, you know, here we just don't call people rats or just judge things like that. We always go by the paperwork. We let the paperwork speak. Salute to y'all. Everybody hit the poll that hasn't hit the poll on my great granny soul, or hit the poll. Like a shorty on Figueroa about to hit that stroke. You know what I mean? And shout out to all my sisters is out there that's trying to get their bag higher. They getting their bag. I ain't mad with you. Salute with you. All right. But we got a lot to get into. All right. So everybody hit the poll like shorty on Figueroa about to hit that straw because you know she hitting the straw hard. Salute to her. All right, listen, we got Whitlock right here. He cooking them right now. He cooking. He got the pig up there. He cooking. I'm looking like a pig turkey. I don't know what it looking like. I don't know what it looking like. Looking like a pig turkey. Don't know. But we got Shaq involved in the mysterious plot. So let's get to some of that to see exactly what's going on with that. And then we're going to go into further breakdown. So salute to everybody. Everybody drop a like on the way in. I appreciate y'all. Goal on this video, 1,000 likes. And when you see this video on that, just push it beyond it, man. I appreciate everybody. Let's get to it.
Shaq said he's paying top dollar for any information on old boy. So, again, I don't know if you're on that kind of time or not, but Shaq is known to throw large sums of money around. So, just want to put that out there. Shaq, I actually just yesterday.
Let's play the clip.
I don't know if you're on this kind of time, but I was in a group chat the other day, or actually just yesterday, and Shaq said he's paying top dollar for any information on old boy. So, again, I don't know if you're on that kind of time or not, but Shaq is known to throw large sums of money around. So, just want to put that out there. Stay quiet. Hey, he said, please keep it quiet. He said that Shannon did some shit back to him a while back, and he's been off him. So that's why he's doing this. But please keep his name quiet.
To that. Have you guys talked?
We haven't. Shaq feels the way he feels, and he's perfectly fine to feel that way.
Attention growth hackers and hustlers. Would it be a bad idea if we paid for your marketing? That means you would get unlimited email and SMS.
So that was Matt Barnes.
No, first of all, wait. What kind of incriminating ish is that Matt Barnes doing? First of all, even if he was allegedly Matt Barnes on a mission, like he trying to, yo, the big man looking like he needs something done, but keep the names quiet and all that. First of all, you talking on the phone, Matt Barnes. Matt Barnes, you from Cali? I thought you was gonna scrap and all that. We seen one time Kobe had the ball like this, and you know what I mean? You try to do it with Kobe. Kobe too thuggy for that. Yo, Matt, what kind of timing you want us with a leak audio like you trying to incriminate Shaq, bro? This is nasty work.
Oh, no, you can't be serious.
This is nasty work. I'm about to change the poll behind this shit. I ain't even know Matt said no shit like this, allegedly. I had to change the poll in a minute. Everybody hit the poll like Shorty on Figueroa about to hit that stroll. You know she about to hit it hard. So salute to her. Don't judge her. Don't judge our people that's getting it the way they got to get it. But Matt Barnes acting like he's trying to get Shaq in a eco. That's nasty work. Let's get to the video.
Talking about Shaq, and these guys have millions upon millions of dollars. Shaq, these former athletes, and they have a lot of power and a lot of access to spend money to acquire information on people they dislike. And I'm not unpacking this or saying this. And Shamik, I'm gonna let you go because this conversation I'm gonna have is. You can't respond in real time, so I'm going to handle this. Thank you so much, Shamika. But I'm not saying this to draw sympathy. I'm connecting the dots to the conversation we had on Fearless today, the conversation we've been having overall about like, hey, man, there's real danger here in speaking truth, speaking righteously, because you end up taking on very powerful people that have resources, and they can put a financial bounty on you. And this is why I'm so transparent and why, I play things the way that I do. I have enemies, and they have lots of money, and they're athletes, and they're not, they don't respect. And it's not that other non-athletes don't play the game the exact same way, but when Shaq's a billionaire and he's got a problem with Shannon Sharpe, he can put money out and say, anybody, I got $500,000 or $50,000 or $100,000 or $1 million. If you got dirt on Shannon Sharpe, do the exact same thing to me. And trust me, people have been looking for the dirt on me for a long time, and that's why I talk about the dirt on me. For most of my adult life, I've struggled with my health, feeling sore and low energy. But Relief Factor, it's changed all that. I take the value out of it by being transparent. But I'm just saying it's dangerous out here. And this is why a lot of men remain silent, because they know if they start speaking true, someone may take an interest in them and want to look, well, what are you hiding? What are you doing in secret? How can I get the dirt on you so that I can compromise you and or embarrass you? Accurate on that. But I used to be, during Derek Thomas's NFL, involved himself with that woman, and maybe Derek Thomas did too.
Reveal those names here. We're not going to do that. But he does go on to say, quote, "My career is all about real talk and honesty. I know my family and fans know exactly what this is about, and I'm going to be out there telling you whatever I need to say, just like I always do." And we also got a statement from his attorney, Lonnie J. Davis, and that reads, "Mr. Sharpe categorically denies all allegations of coercion or misconduct, especially the gross lie of rape, and will not submit to what he sees as an egregious attempt at blackmail. He stands firmly by the truth and is prepared to fight these false claims vigorously in court." And Davis has also commented about that apparent tape that was seemingly referenced by Sharpe, because he accuses Jane Doe of providing a, quote, secretly recorded and heavily edited video to them that purports to be a non-consensual encounter of some kind. But Davis claimed that Jane Doe, quote, has refused to provide a copy of the full unedited version of the recording to Mr. Sharpe's legal team. And then there's this. Sharpe and his legal team released all of these apparent text messages between him and this Jane Doe, reportedly 44 pages worth of communications. For example, as reported by TMZ, there's one apparent message from October 2023 where Jane Doe seemingly messages Sharpe, "I want you to put a dog collar around my neck and choke me with it while you're bleeping me." Now, the New York Post reporting on other messages allegedly from Jane Doe, like, "Tie me up and do bad things to me. I know you missed this big juicy bleep, 25K for each cheek. Tie me up like this and bleep me," with Sharpe replying, "If I knew how to, I would." She then allegedly wrote back, "It's okay, I have handcuffs. We can stick to those for now." Jane Doe also allegedly writing, "I want like some hardcore BDSM action though, and feeling kind of freaky lately." And then you have this apparent message from March 14th, 2024. "I want to be abused, daddy." And then another message from last year where she apparently wrote him, "I've always wanted a black baby." Now, Lonnie Davis commented that, quote, "The evidence paints a clear picture. This was a consensual adult relationship that included role-playing, sexual language, and fantasy scenarios." So what happens then? Again, this is not the end of the story. Jane Doe ends up releasing an audio tape seemingly between her and Sharpe. And I'm going to explain part of what is heard on this tape. We can't play it for legal reasons, but here is part of the exchange, and this part is key. Again,
supercharge your business with the all-new Shopify point of sale, the all-in-one POS.
This is from the audio tape. Jane Doe says, "Don't manipulate me." Sharpe replies, "If you say that word one more time, I'm going to choke the bleep out of you next time I see you." Jane Doe pauses, takes a minute, and says, "Well, I don't want to be choked." And Sharpe replies, "Yes, you do. I don't think you have a choice in the matter." Now, to be clear, this tape may only be a portion of the entire conversation and audio, but this appears to be a portion nonetheless. Jane Doe's attorney, again, Tony Busby, described this audio as, quote, "The contents of this clip are certainly not sexual. They are not playful. They are instead disturbing, aggressive, and dangerous. This audio paints a very clear picture of how Sharpe treated Jane Doe, leading her to escape from him by leaving Nevada and blocking all contact with him." And he added that they released this audio in response to Sharpe's lawyer, Lonnie Davis, trying to discredit Jane Doe by releasing all of these alleged texts, which, by the way, Busby says are basically irrelevant because they're all before the alleged assault. Okay, so now I want to bring on Mauricio Padilla, litigator, criminal defense attorney, to talk more about this. Mauricio, thanks so much for taking the time. Let's just start with the lawsuit and the allegation, suing for $50 million. very graphic details about these multiple alleged sexual assaults and rapes. Your take just on the initial lawsuit and allegations.
I mean, my take on the initial lawsuit and allegations and the publicity that's come right after it. I mean, there's rules of ethics to prohibit people from trying their case in the media. And I think from the onset, both sides are engaging in releasing what could be evidence. And the rules of ethics from state to state vary, but they pretty much usually are concentrated on not releasing any information that could possibly affect a jury. And they're out there releasing pages and pages of text messages. They're out there releasing audio. It looks to me like both sides are engaged in trying to litigate this in the media before litigating it in a court of law.
But isn't that the Justin Baldoni, Blake Lively effect, right? Isn't that what we're seeing now? It's the idea of let's battle this out on the court of public opinion, particularly, by the way, when you're dealing with such a public figure like Shannon Sharpe. The idea of if I'm fighting this in a court of law, but I'm also fighting this in the court of public opinion, if I can put enough out there to try to reverse the narrative, maybe not only I'll still retain my fan base, my career, but also it puts pressure on Jane Doe maybe to stop the lawsuit, or maybe not, because she fired back too.
No, I'm not saying that they shouldn't do it, because unfortunately we live in a time where if you don't do that on behalf of your client, are you doing them a disservice? I'm just mentioning the fact that none of this is really allowed pursuant to the rules of ethics, but I understand why they're doing it, because nowadays pretty much the court of public opinion is dictating what happens in court in and of itself. Right. So it's just part of litigating cases nowadays.
Are you concerned by the content, the value of those text message conversations? Does it complicate this case? Let me rephrase. Putting aside, assuming these really are the real conversations and the real messages of Jane Doe, you could say, I mean, she's talking about BDSM, tying up, dog collars, choking, and then she accuses him of sexual assault and being violent with her. Let me actually read you something from the lawsuit. Okay, so this is from the lawsuit. It says, a woman can say yes to consensual sexual relations with a man 99 times, but when she says no, even once, that no means no. Defendant Shannon Sharpe, a man who is accustomed to getting what he wants, completely fails to understand this basic concept. After many months of manipulating and controlling plaintiff, a woman more than 30 years younger than he, and repeatedly threatening to brutally choke and violently slap her, Sharpe refused to accept the answer no and raped plaintiff despite her sobbing and repeated screams of no. So you look at those messages, are they irrelevant?
If you establish a pattern of S&M, a pattern of voluntarily submitting yourself to someone, to accepting, violence, to accepting as part of the norm of your sex life, then obviously that's something that could be used, because he's going to say, yeah, it was consensual. So when a jury's trying to analyze whether or not these acts of violence were consensual or not, they can obviously look to the history of the relationship and whether or not she's going to admit it. So now you put her on the stand and you're like, so you allowed him to choke you. You allowed him to hit you previously. And that was something that you guys engaged in, voluntary sexual behavior, and you found it pleasurable. And you did it for the X amount of months. But then on this particular day, you told him no. So it's something that it's fruitful to bring up a trial. I think they would be doing him a disservice if they didn't explore that more. And yeah, ultimately what Mr. Busby's saying is true. A woman can say yes 99 times and say no that 100th time, but the historical behavior of accepting violence as the norm in your bedroom and in your sex life is something that a jury can look at to determine whether or not she did in fact say no, because he's going to say that she said yes. He's not going to admit that she said no, that he raped her.
No, I hear you. And I knew that he was going to get on the defensive. I mean, if you believe his side, right, that he's completely innocent, you get hit with this lawsuit, right? You want to defend yourself immediately. He goes out, he puts out this message on Instagram. Do you think he was advised by his lawyer to do so? Let's start there. And B, purportedly outing her.
We understand that his lawyer came out to speak, and the lawyer I'm going to get into the lawyer. I'm going to have to get back into the lawyer so you can hear for yourself. Because the lawyer has spoken out to say that he urged Shannon to speak out and to speak his mind and truth, because he said the people or the jury or whoever that would be, even the public, would see that everything that Shannon was saying was the truth. And I don't know. A lot of people are speaking against this to say, I don't know if Shannon should have spoke out. If you're innocent, you would want to speak out. You know what I mean? Even guilty people want to speak out just to prove that they're innocent as well. But sometimes speaking out can hurt you. A lot of people that's lawyers and different people that work on that side of the fence are saying, I would have advised him not to speak out right now. And people that try cases have been speaking out saying, actually, you was giving people that's prosecution type people, I mean, a little food for thought. I don't know. You know what I mean? Maybe you see it, maybe you don't. I don't know. You know what I mean? But this is what people are saying. So salute to everybody. Make sure everybody's hitting the poll. We will be changing it in a second. And I will be getting into the lawyer as well again. And then we'll be going into the other breakdowns that we have. We have a lot to get into, as you can see. We have this to get back into. We are going to get back into that too as well. Oh, man, Whack 100, what you doing, bro? What you doing, bro? What happened, bro? And then we also got to get into Gigi Adams as well on the breakdown as well. So we got a lot to get through. Salute to everybody.
Naming her name. Just the first name, and also what her apparent handle is, her name on OnlyFans. Is that appropriate? That right? I mean, again, he's defending himself, but she filed this anonymously.
Right. Well, whether or not his attorney advised him to do it, if he took those steps without discussing it with his attorney should be very upset at him doing something of that nature. I don't think that an attorney can counsel their client to disclose the identity of a victim in a sex case. So I don't think that his attorney would ever admit to taking those steps simply because there's, laws to protect victims in sex crimes. But I understand why it's beneficial to his defense. I'm putting it out there. I'm saying who you are. I'm saying that you're an OnlyFans person. I'm saying that we were engaged in this voluntary sexual behavior where you possibly accepted money to do sexual things on camera or do sexual things for me. So it definitely benefits his defense in letting people know, listen, this is not the person that Busby's saying that it is. This is a person that I'm telling you who she is. So I think it's beneficial.
And to reverse it, I said this when I covered it earlier in the week, this lawsuit being filed by Tony Busby, he's got crosshairs on him right now. He filed a lawsuit against Jay-Z by a Jane Doe who claims that she was sexually assaulted by Jay-Z when she was 13 years old back in 2000. That lawsuit against him was dropped. The NBC did a report questioning the credibility of some of her claims. His attorneys came forward and
shout
said,
out James Jones, you already know the vibes. Salute, bro.
And that lawsuit was dropped. He's now being sued. That Jane Doe's being sued. You would think, okay, if this happened, I'm going to maybe take a little step back here. But to go so public and forward with allegations against a high-profile figure like Shannon Sharpe, he must not only believe the account of Jane Doe, he must believe he's got the goods to back it up.
Definitely. And listen, when you're an attorney, you have wiggle room in the sense that if you have a client that's telling you what their version, you have to act reasonably, and you can't just believe someone that you may have knowledge that she suffers from psychiatric conditions, but you have a lot of leeway. Like, you have a client that's telling you, you're allowed to believe your client and you're allowed to litigate on their behalf. And obviously there's rules in place for a lawyer not to pipe or a complete myth and sue people without a basis. But, when you do have a client that's telling you what occurred, I think he has a lot of leeway in the way that he acts simply because he has a client that's telling him, and he's allowed to believe that client. Now, there's limits, and apparently, regarding the Jay-Z, confronted with evidence that he couldn't refute regarding the lack of liability, then he dropped the lawsuit. If he's defending his own lawsuit, that's separate from this one. So I don't see why a guy like Busby would change his MO, so to speak, and retreat, because at the end of the day, he's making money. He's making money. He's trying to make money, and he's got insurance to defend him of lawsuits. So I don't see why he would change.
Now I want to move on to the audio tape. This audio tape that was apparently released by Jane Doe's side. Now, again, this might only be a portion of the conversation, but it is a portion of this conversation, and it's important. You'll have Tony Busby saying this is nothing fun about this. There's nothing sexual about this. This is disturbing. This is him threatening to choke her and saying she's not going to have a choice. Whereas I imagine you're going to hear Shannon Sharpe say, there's more to context to the conversation. Look at what our relationship was like. But this was another move in this chess game, releasing this audio tape. What's your take on it?
Well, listen, an audio tape like that is damning just because if you're a man and you're talking like that to a woman, even if your defense is, you have to look at the totality of the circumstances. You have to look at the relationship that we had where she was voluntarily submissive to me. And then I was, in a position where we would obtain sexual pleasure from me being a dominant figure. That has to be his defense. But a lot of people would reject that right off the bat. Like, that's something that a lot of people are not going to stomach, are not going to understand. And he definitely has his work cut out in trying to explain to the viewing public why that type of language to a woman is appropriate. It has to be, his defense has to be that you're only looking at a small piece, but if you look at the entire relationship, that's how we would do it, and that's because she was submissive to me. People are going to reject that.
Now, I will tell you this. As this came out, I said to myself, how did they release those messages so quickly? They must have had it ready, right? You can't just have those messages. And I said to myself, did they know this was coming? Well, what do I come to find out? According to NBC, Lonnie Davis, again representing Shannon Sharpe, has confirmed that Sharpe apparently made a financial offer to this Jane Doe to try to settle this case before she filed it. In fact, while it seems he first said that it was tens of millions of dollars, then clarified and said it was at least $10 million. So the idea that if that's true, they tried to get to settle it, and then she files, and now they have their messages ready. What does that tell you?
Listen, I think that's part of what Busby has been doing historically. Like, they approach you and they tell you, listen, we have this. Let me know if you want to resolve this previously. I think if anybody looks at, like, the P. Diddy didn't do it, right? And then they filed against him and he settled the case in a day. We see the value of resolving cases. So I think it's on par with how Busby has been litigating his prior cases to give them an opportunity. When you look at it, yeah, settlement negotiations are usually privileged. If someone hears that he offered $10 million, what is a normal person going to think?
Salute to everybody that's here. Hopefully y'all having a good day. Everybody hit the poll. If we're going to be changing it, I just want to know what y'all thinking. And get in the comments and let us know your thoughts. Some people feel it's a setup. You feel it's a setup?
Offer of settlement, which they probably shouldn't, but they will. They're going to associate that offer of settlement with guilt.
At the time of this recording, I haven't seen Shannon Sharpe file a countersuit of any kind, but talk to me if this works. Could he countersue for defamation, or is there a litigation privilege, right? You're allowed to make claims against somebody. You're shielded away from every time anybody sues anybody, the other side will say it's not true. You can't just turn around and say it's defamation, right? I mean, could he sue for defamation?
Right. Well, you're right. There is a litigation privilege regarding defamation actions. So I always tell people this when people ask me, can they sue? People can sue all the time. Whether or not it's going to survive a motion to dismiss, honestly, I've seen it in my career over 22 years. People sue for things that are ultimately going to get dismissed, and it doesn't affect their willingness to do it, their desire to do it. But you're right. There is a litigation privilege because I guess the mindset, the universal mindset is that you don't want to be gagging people in a court of law. You want people to have the freedom to express themselves openly without the threat of litigation while they're in litigation. And that's the entire. So to answer your question, it seems like you're right. A litigation privilege does apply, but nowadays people get sued for all kind of things.
And I wouldn't be surprised if we see a countersuit because, again, his perspective is this is blackmail. These are false allegations. And by the way, what's the timing of it? And by the way, when we talk about Shannon Sharpe, he's a powerhouse in the podcast space.
To make money and to act out in role playing. But the reason that's relevant is that we are.
Listen. We hear them speculating about Shannon's lawyer, about him giving them the wrong information and all these things. So we're going to hear exactly from the lawyer and hear what he said to Don Lemon. So salute to this right now for us hearing exactly what the lawyer said. And do you agree with it? That's going to be my next poll. Do you agree with what the lawyer did and told Shannon to speak out? Some people are saying he should have never did this. You know what I mean? Sometimes people saying if you innocent, you should speak out. But then if you guilty, it's like you trying to get ahead of the story. So I don't know what we think. We do understand that Shannon Sharpe allegedly offered some money, and to offer money alone, and the lawyer is going to speak on this. So I want y'all to hear this, all right? I want y'all to hear this. Salute to everybody. All of y'all drop a like. Everybody hit the poll. Subscribe to the channel and share this video if you could. Salute.
We are going to counterclaim and file suit against her. She will be under oath, and we will show that what I'm saying is true. She's lying about anything other than consensual sex. There was never anything but consensual sex. The reason we sent out her own words, her own text messages, is that she often asked for rough sex. She, in a text message that we just recently put online, she said, "I want to be in a dog collar. Daddy, I want your black babies." She has been role-playing on OnlyFans. She was role-playing and asked for this with Mr. Shannon Sharpe. So we are going to prove this in court when we sue her in a counterclaim. But I'm saying on the record, she's lying. We have evidence of her lies from her own words and what she was asking for in the text messages. But we will prove affirmatively what Shannon Sharpe said on his Instagram account. He's innocent. There was never a moment of other than consensual sex. And this is about blackmail and a shakedown scheme.
Okay, so people are dialing in at every second, as you know, and streaming. That's what Shannon does. I'm sure you're very aware of it. So we have more people joining us. So I just want to say that we are joined by famed attorney Lanny Davis, who is attorney for Shannon Sharpe. Shannon Sharpe's attorney. You guys misspelled attorney. Shannon Sharpe's attorney, so you can take it down and put it up, speaks. Okay, so Lanny, the fact that she works for OnlyFans, is that somehow undermine her credibility? I mean, because folks would say they would call that, shaming of some sort. If you know,
no, I absolutely am not.
In the realm of her skirt was too short.
How she decides to earn a living, I'm not making any comment about her decision to use OnlyFans. That's her decision. I'm not criticizing that decision or judging her for that decision. The relevance is fantasy role-playing is what, among other things, she does on this particular site, OnlyFans. The fantasy role-playing was the explicit sex messages or text messages that we posted that she asked for over and over again, including wearing a dog collar and engaging in non-traditional forms of sex. So it's consistent with my statement, which we will prove that she's a liar, that she engaged as the news of his success and future contract came to her attention. She took advantage to leverage the possibility of her getting paid, and she blackmailed him. And we are suing her, and we will prove that this was a scheme to blackmail involving secret taping, and we will prove that Mr. Sharpe is telling the truth, that he was never, ever involved in anything other than consensual sexual activity privately between two adults.
Okay, so let's, some of these things that we have. I want to play this recorded phone call because this is the first thing that came out after she filed the suit. And then you and I will talk about it. This is a call between Gabby, right? She was Jane Doe. Now she has been identified as Gabby, but she has a different name on OnlyFans, correct?
Yes, Carly, I believe, but she has several aliases. One of them is Carly.
Yeah, and Shannon Sharpe references that in his response, that she's Carly on OnlyFans. Okay, so this is the first thing that came out. This is a recorded phone call. Take a listen, everybody.
Well, you're coming to LA tomorrow?
Yes.
Well, I don't know why you want to go out.
Don't worry about it, Gabby.
Well, okay.
Okay, what?
Well, I'm not really interested in getting choked, so I guess we're going.
Yeah, I might choke you in public.
Do you believe how she said that? I'm not really interested in getting choked. Like, I guess I'm going. Do you take that as serious? I'm just asking y'all, man. Question. Get in the chat. Let me know. Everybody hit the poll. Salute to everybody in the building. Everybody subscribe to the channel that's not subscribed and drop a like because this is crazy. That sounded kind of crazy when she said that. Let's get back to it.
big black guy choke small white woman.
It's not a good look, Shannon.
Not a good look that you do with the shit you did to me.
Okay, well,
Okay, so put this into context for me, Lanny. What precipitated this, and what's the context of this particular phone call?
Thank you. The lawyer who represents this Ms. Zuniga is well known for putting things out of context and posting a secretly taped telephone call without posting a text message where she has a collar around her neck and she says, "Choke me," and without posting all the other examples of fantasy role-playing that she asked for involving choking and other forms of non-traditional sex, is a deliberate part of the scheme to blackmail. She didn't tell Mr. Sharpe that she was taping. She does secret taping. We have certain evidence that a tape that she's going to use as part of her blackmail attempt was heavily edited. And when we asked to see
52% to 38% in the chat, and the accuses the rest. I want everybody in the poll.
Well, you can hear her voice. Her voice is not somebody who is afraid of being choked. In fact, Mr. Shannon Sharpe never, ever choked her. After this telephone conversation, they had many times of consensual sex. The apartment in Las Vegas, she followed him to Las Vegas when he moved there. The apartment had 3 or 4 different secure access points. She had to come down with her telephone to open the gates. She welcomed him into her apartment with all that security. And this whole telephone conversation is consistent with what we put online, which is the desire for fantasy role-playing, similar to what she does on OnlyFans.
Okay, so I'm going in order of as things happen. So that phone call came out, the lawsuit was filed, that phone call came out, and then you guys responded with releasing the text messages. Am I correct with that?
To provide context to this distorted drip-by-drip release of her secretly recorded telephone calls to try to suggest that Shannon Sharpe ever did anything but consensual sex. All the text messages, all her activity after this alleged event that she's referring to were all consensual, and we will prove that.
Okay, so then, but his response came after you put out the text messages, right? His on-camera response, that was later, or which one came first?
No, well, he immediately, I think you're referring to his Instagram comment. Yeah. I think that was a few days before we finally collected the text messages and posted them online.
All right, Lanny, let's listen to some of what he said. This is Shannon Sharpe's response.
Thank you.
My family, friends, supporters, and colleagues, I want to speak to you directly and from the heart. This is a shakedown. I'm going to be open, transparent, and defend myself because this isn't right. This is all being orchestrated by Tony Busby, who has targeted Jay-Z. Tony Busby targets black men, and I believe he's going to release a 30-second clip of a sex tape that tries to make me look guilty and play into every stereotype you could possibly imagine. That video should actually be 10 minutes or so. Hey, Tony, instead of releasing your edit, put the whole video out. I don't have it, or I would myself. You know what happened, and you're trying to manipulate the media. The encounter in question took place during the day at her invitation, and now that appears to be a deliberate setup, coordinated by Gabby, also known as Carly, on OnlyFans. Gabby and Tony Busby want $50 million. What they're getting is sued for defamation and trying to take me down. My career is all about real talk and honesty. I know my family and fans know exactly what this is about. And I'm going to be out there telling you whatever I need to say, just like I always do. I love all you guys. Thanks.
It is unusual. I mean, this is a different day and age, Lanny. I mean, you and I are old enough to remember where you didn't, the lawyer either responded or it was no comment, but we're in a different age now. Why do you feel it was necessary? Why did Shannon feel it was necessary? And I'm sure he ran this by his representatives to get in front of this and get it on camera.
Well, I'm his lawyer, and he's been sued with vicious lies that are contained in the lawsuit filed by this Mr. Busby. And we're going to be suing her as a counterclaim, and we will prove she's lying. But then I said myself to Shannon Sharpe, you need to talk to your family, your friends, your fans, everybody who watches ESPN, because you are telling the truth. The truth is on your side. And when you say it yourself, rather than me or somebody else saying it, you will be believed. And I ask everybody to find that. It's on formerly known as Twitter, X, and you can watch him. And I said to him, Shannon, the television camera quickly detects somebody who's not authentic and doesn't lie. I'm kind of an expert in that subject. You will come across as telling the truth because you are telling the truth. So I hope everybody watches that tape. The jury will be seeing Shannon testify. And then when she's on the witness stand, which she must be because she filed the lawsuit, she will be asked to explain the text messages asking for fantasy role playing, asking to be choked, asking for a dog collar, asking for his, quote, black babies. This was all a plan, taped, manipulated, extortion, blackmail scheme. And we will prove that in court when we sue her in a counterclaim and she's under oath.
Okay, so a couple of things. You said that you know that from experience. You want to explain to the audience why you know that? Because you've had some high-profile cases.
Yes, I have been a lawyer all my life as a litigator and in courtrooms. But then I began to realize in the age of social media and in politics that it was very important that if somebody is falsely accused, that the accused directly looks everybody in the eye and tells the truth and let the viewer decide. That's why I advised Shannon to go on camera, on Instagram, and tell the truth. People will know if you're lying, Shannon. Tell it exactly the way you feel it. That's my advice to people in this situation. If I believe
you're involved in some very high profile political folks too, as well. So
yes,
you know.
I have people in politics who are falsely accused, people in politics who do something wrong. My advice always is tell all your truth, tell it early, and tell it yourself. And that's the advice I've given politicians. That's the advice I gave to Shannon.
Okay, so let's go through some of these because you mentioned some of the text messages. Okay, so this is a screen. Let's put up the full one of some of the text messages here, and so there are a number of them, but I want to go through some of them. If you can just run through them, Andy. Yes. And so we have a couple of pages of them, and I have to warn you, they're salacious, and because you know it says, "But I cried when you left because I begged you to put on a condom on and not put it in my you know what backside, and you didn't listen. I don't care what our history is. No means no, Shannon." Now folks are saying that one is really damning. You want to talk to me about that one?
Yes, this is all her scheme and her plan. If she's not scheming and planning, why does she refuse to turn over the edited tape that will prove that she's schemed ahead of time, planned this, and then edited a tape to make it seem as if no means she is being taken against her will? The facts will come out when we see this tape, and he has said in the statement, this tape was edited. This whole conversation was fake. This was a blackmail scheme, a plan to squeeze money out of a man that she knew had been successful. And just at the moment of his success, she needs blackmail money. And that's what this was about. And we'll prove that in court.
Okay. So, I mean, folks are saying it's that one is very damning. I don't know how to process this. Keep going. Let's go through some of these, Andy. Can I call you later? So I'm just showing some of the evidence. And this is 1/2/25. I want to be abused, Daddy, from her, saying, and this sort of goes into what you were saying. I want like some hardcore BDSM action, though. Okay.
BDS is sadomasochism. She sent photographs that we could have put up and more than we did that are from her bondage and what she prefers. So the notion that she's now suddenly claiming after editing a tape and faking everything and saying no while she's asking for this, as you've just seen, are our evidence of lies and the scheme of a blackmail. And it doesn't make any sense that she came back and voluntarily wanted to see him more and had consensual sex even after her claim that she was coerced.
Okay. Yeah, because this one was later. That one was 1:30. Okay. And then there's, I guess that's a picture of her. I want you to tie me up like this and abuse me, Daddy. Okay, let's keep going through. And then I guess this one would be from Shannon agreeing I'd be killing that young, you know what, kitty cat or whatever. And then I guess she was upset because of what happened with, I think, on Instagram when Shannon had the unfortunate situation of going live during, a personal act. Absolutely not. When you give me a formal apology for cheating on me on Instagram, I live and multiple other times, then we can talk about it. What's this one about?
So this is when we're in court. We'll be looking at a jury using its common sense whether this individual can be believed at all. This is a woman who has planned and schemed to set up Shannon Sharpe. Her telephone call or setup. She didn't tell him she was taping him. This shows that her plan was executed just at the moment that he appeared to be most successful with his podcast. That's called blackmail. We are also showing that her text messages were asking for the very behavior that she then falsely and willfully falsely called lying said was not consensual. That's why these text messages are so important.
Let's go through a couple more here, and I won't burden you with all of them. Absolutely not. When you give me, okay, that one's the same one, a formal apology. That's the same one, Andy. Let's go to the formal apology. He says, she says formal apology, and then keep going. I've said sorry, Gabby, and I think the next one she says, but you haven't said I'm sorry for what, and you say I'm sorry, and you never say what you're sorry for, and you're going to make it right. Okay, wow, keep going. What's taking so long? Either you don't have the cash to show me right now, or you're with Michelle. Which one is it, Shannon? Now, what is that about?
Yes, I was about to say, may I interrupt, but you gave me the chance.
A lot going on. Hold up. Salute to everybody in the building. Salute to everybody in the building. A lot going on. But we want to understand who is this lawyer as well. So we are going to take a listen in over here. Because we moving the stream along. We do got to get to Bricc Baby. Luce Cannon said he rolled it. He said he rolled it up. And Luce Cannon saying that he's a buster and all of that. And we got a lot to get through. So we got to get to this content.
Representing, you'll see here, Bill Clinton. So he
everybody
lobbied
hit
on behalf of Bill Clinton, but also represented.
Do you think Shannon did it? No. Yes.
Bill Clinton.
Do you believe the accuser?
Supposedly
yes.
for some other things as
hit
well.
The comments.
So this is the crisis manager that you hire when shit is going left. Okay. Oh, the guy from Jersey. I didn't know that. So he's worked with politicians. By the way, I think he also worked with Trump. Oh, fuck. What the fuck? Sorry. I think he also worked with Trump. Give me a second. Trump. Yeah. In 2018, he was hired he worked for Michael Cohen, who was Trump's attorney. So he was the crisis manager for Trump's attorney who got charged. Davis later represented Cohen when he pled guilty to tax fraud, bank fraud, and a violation of campaign finance laws. Okay. Yeah, he's represented a shit ton of people. Okay. And he's the person that Shannon Sharpe is going with. So Shannon Sharpe is going with one of the big dogs who have represented people even high up in politics.
Shannon Sharpe has been one of the biggest stories for anyone who follows the NFL. Everybody knows who Shannon Sharpe is. The allegations against him are, on their surface, troubling. And Sharpe's position is clear. It's all falsified, it's all fabricated, and it's all part of a broader effort to blackmail him. So, like many cases when a person of a high profile is involved, there's two components, two courts, the court of law and the court of public opinion. And it's become clear to me from the outset of this effort by Shannon Sharpe and his lawyer Lanny Davis to push back, a lot of what's being said is intended for the court of public opinion. And sometimes the strategies are going to be very different in the court of public opinion than they are in a court of law. All that matters in the court of law is the final verdict. In the court of public opinion, it's what people think, and they're going to make their decisions. They're going to come to their conclusions. They're going to have their impressions early on. So it's critical to move quickly to get people to accept your version of reality and to see it your way and to support you and your position right out of the gates. And that's a big part of what's happened this week. And that's important to this update in the Shannon Sharpe case. Lanny Davis,
that's the lawyer.
And you may know the name. He represented President Clinton back in the 90s when Clinton had some things going on. He represented Michael Cohen, the former lawyer for Donald Trump, several years.
So we want to understand who this lawyer is that's talking to us. He represented all these people, and this same lawyer told Shannon he should go out and speak and all of that. And a lot of people saying that, you know what I mean, maybe he advised them wrong. You know what I mean? Maybe this guy has advised this guy wrong, Shannon. So we will be, I guess that's all way to be seen, man. But it's crazy, though. The whole situation is crazy. So we're just going to get into this a little bit more.
Years ago, when Cohen had some things going on, and now Lanny Davis is primarily responsible for this lawsuit against Shannon Sharpe. Davis had a press conference yesterday regarding the situation, and one of the big aspects of the effort to prevail in the court of public opinion comes from placing pressure on attorney Tony Buzbee and the plaintiff in the case against Sharpe to release the unedited tape of.
Yeah, that's the whole questions now, man. The unedited tape. This was Shannon. It's supposed to be 10 minutes long or something like that. It's spoken about it in the paperwork itself. You know what I mean? They're talking about this said situation that ended up taking place. You know what I mean? In this right here. They talk about it all. Yeah. I mean, I'll zoom it in. I did a paperwork read on this so everybody can go and check the channel. I read this. You can just go back and look at the couple of the titles and you'll see it. And I've been reading it on other videos as well, just to make sure that everybody is getting the information and not just what we thinking. You know what I mean? Shannon is innocent until proven guilty in this situation. You know, the woman, the same thing. You know what I'm saying? The woman, the same thing, regardless of what we think. She's the alleged victim. You know what I mean? Could be real, could not be. So, you know what I mean? We got to take it with a grain of salt or whatever you want to take it with, but we all got to understand that. Salute to everybody that's in the building rocking with us. Shannon in a wild situation. We will be moving that poll along. Shout out to everybody that hit the poll. We are moving on. We got Bricc Baby, Luce Cannon, who rolled it up, who not. Everybody, RP to Draco the Ruler. You see his brother right there, Ralphie, in there. Every time I see him, I think of Draco. RP to Draco the Ruler. Straight RP to Draco, man. Facts. You know what I mean? So let's get into this, and we're going to see exactly what Bricc Baby and Luce Cannon them talking about. And listen, when I changed the poll, do y'all think they was ever cellmates? Was they cellmates? What? Did Luce Cannon roll it up? What's going on? Luce and them and Wack is saying, now Wack is saying Big U snitching. Big U's the one that snitched on Luce Cannon. Luce Cannon saying that he's the one that's snitching on him, and he got the plot. Yo, this plot is thickening. The plot is thickening, y'all. We got to get to it. Salute to everybody. Everybody drop a like and hit the poll right now until I change it. Y'all hit that poll too.
So Luce Cannon over the weekend said that Bricc Baby, you know, Bricc Baby locked up, free Bricc Baby.
Free
all the
Bricc.
fans went caught up by now. Y'all should be. But Bricc Baby's locked up, and
Everybody
he was
hit the poll.
supposedly in the
I'm about
same
to
cell
change
as
it too.
Luce Cannon. Luce Cannon and his girl, they've been running content on their YouTube channel.
Okay.
And she called in, and I guess Luce Cannon didn't call her for a day. So then she was like, "What happened? You didn't call me yesterday." And then I guess he said, I guess they was in a hole, there was lockdown or some shit. But he broke the news. He broke the news. He said that Bricc Baby not his cellmate no more. And the reason he said Bricc Baby not his cellmate no more because everyone was trying to say Bricc Baby snitching because some paperwork dropped. And then on the paperwork, Bricc Baby had said that he's tired of doing what the police tell him to do. So some niggas took that as snitching. Some people don't know how to take it. But this is the clip of Luce Cannon and his girl talking on it.
With them for his custody battle with the children.
Yeah, so verified that, got the paperwork and everything, so everything is good.
So you kicked him out the celly because you thought he was a rat, baby?
Kicked him.
Shut up.
Oh my gosh.
At all. That's not how jail works. I programmed.
So is he coming back or what's happening with that now?
Hey, hold on. I got a list. We can't talk. The fans can't hear. Start it back. Talk over it.
Okay, so of dealing with them for his custody battle with the children.
Yeah, so verified that, got the paperwork and everything, so everything is good.
So you kicked him out the celly because you thought he was a rat, baby? Oh my gosh.
Clarified everything like that.
So is he coming back or what's happening with that now?
Yeah, no, we good. We good now.
Okay, so
probably in an hour or two.
So they're gonna put him back up in there?
Yeah, no, he's here now. He just moved a couple of cells over until we worked out everything. But yeah, he clarified it.
Gosh, y'all be just like 1 minute y'all cool, the next minute y'all not. 1 minute y'all cool. Y'all need of dealing with them for his custody battle with the children.
I don't believe nothing on the internet.
So when they say, all right, you can pause it. So when they say clarify, all right, so paperwork had dropped on Bricc Baby, and then in the paperwork.
I'm finna beat your ass and clarify it right here. You just called me a what, nigga? That's the clarification. Dead homies, nigga. We finna. You called me a snitch. You talking about I gotta get out your room because that's the clarification, right? You called me a what?
So for
that's where you clarify it. Boom, back.
For people who not tuned in or who don't know what's going on.
I saw it on your Instagram.
Yeah, on the paperwork, Bricc Baby had he had made not a statement, but like the cops quoted him saying to his baby mama that he's tired of working with the police. And people took that as like,
nah, you gotta say the quote. Working sound crazy.
Nah, I'm tired of working. He said I'm tired. He said I'm tired of the police telling me what to do.
All right, say that.
So when he said that,
working,
He didn't. He said I'm tired of the police.
That's a crazy statement.
That could be anything.
Yeah,
but saying I'm tired of working with the police.
That's informant.
People took it as
I know, but you can't say that. You work up here, you know him. If you saying that. Saying that's like stamping it. Like
no. What I'm trying to do is clear it up though. So basically though, he had said, "I'm tired of doing what the police tell me what to do." So people read that and they interpreted like, "What the fuck you mean you tired of doing what they tell you to do?" But Bricc Baby told Luce and niggas in the shit that he's like, it was a custody battle with his, you know what I'm saying, with his baby mama and shit. Yeah. So he tired of dealing with that. So that's what he was saying. Yeah. But niggas flipped it like, oh no, that nigga, he working with the police. He tired of doing what they want to do.
Until we got a statement, until we got his name and a statement, he's not snitching.
There been no statements of Bricc Baby snitching. So, we haven't seen shit.
Until that comes out, which will be public information. He's not a snitch.
I kicked him out the cell for a little bit. Yeah, he down the hall, man.
But you can't kick out.
They just had a room ready. No, once you get kicked out of the cell, you kick off the floor, nigga.
Exactly, nigga. You gone. You out the pod. You out the pod. What you talking about?
We got a bed reserved for you until we get everything going. Man, hell no.
He said until we figure out who's snitching. Hold on, you can't be in here right now.
Crazy.
So look, I guess Bricc called wind of what's going on. So Bricc responded, and I ain't even heard this yet. This was uploaded 9 minutes ago, so we don't want to say
shit on the internet with that big buster ass light skin.
Why he really talking? Is that AI? Oh my god, that's diabolical.
It is.
The nigga with a badge talking about the police. Nigga, I was going through a child custody battle. Nigga, I was tired of it. These bitches sitting outside of my motherfucking mama house, nigga, telling me they gonna kill my mama, nigga, and I'm supposed to sit here. They ain't crazy, this motherfucker. I ain't tripping no way, cause they ain't gonna give me a bill anyway. It's TMC, too much scripting, man. These niggas is real weirdos, so it don't matter. Y'all done interneted me into the jail. Just be happy.
See,
be my boy. That's it, right? I ain't tripping off that shit, though.
Yeah, you know, that's all they do. You the talk of the town, the talk of the city. Shit.
I'm trying to figure out how they phones ain't hit. That's the one thing, man, I ain't fighting life. You know what I mean? This shit gonna be over one day, you know what I mean? I wish that big old deal, man, is the break, man, while everybody laid up with their feet up out there vacationing, playing like they ain't got nothing for the kids, man. You already know we still keeping it strong. Nigga don't need nothing from.
This call is from a federal prison.
Hey, sometimes it be a mental test to see where a nigga hard at in his chest, man. You know what I'm saying? A motherfucker use you, abuse you. As soon as you get out the way, they act like they ain't worried about losing you. You know what I mean? But hey, check it out. This is for everybody speaking on the break, bro. I ain't never been sunnies with me a nigga. Nigga ain't could never kick me out of nothing on the dead homies. And every nigga talking about some snitches without paperwork on the dead homies don't have to pay for it, how they pay for it, man. You know what I'm saying? Take that up with the Lord, nigga, because on the dead homies, that nigga right here standing strong, nigga, and really programming like a programmer. So, you know what I mean? Nigga disrespect it's like downtown, 10 minutes away from the beach, but I'm so far out of reach, man. You did. I don't know what's going on, you know what I mean? But I'll be home soon. You know what I mean? It's a major setback for a major comeback, man. You know what I'm saying? I could care less about what the words say. I'm trying to get back to my kids. Everybody want to make content on my situation, nigga, but my daughter graduating from high school, nigga, in 2 years. You know what I'm saying? I got a baby that just started school. I got kids that's out of reach right now. You get what I'm saying? That ain't got nothing. You know what I mean? So y'all hit that thank you button. Y'all go ahead, run up them views, you know what I'm saying, and do what y'all gonna do. I ain't even been playing the phone, because the phone gonna play you at the end of the day. Niggas wanna be so tough and rough on that motherfucker, bro. They crashing they self. Dead homies. But I ain't got nothing else to say, man. Free the Bricc. It's gonna be Free the Bricc t-shirts up, man. Y'all go stop by an awful lot of cough syrup. Like I said, go get y'all ski mask and whatever y'all gonna get, man. It's Kill Squad to the squad on the streets, man. Free the squad, free the squad. Y'all go tap in with young Barry Gordy, man. Tell Compton Rick Rock, man, continue being a real nigga, man. He just sent the nigga some money out of nowhere, man. Shout out Donnie, shout out Mikey, shout out everybody else, Flacco and the whole gang, man. You already know it's Bricc.
Everybody hit the poll, man. Bricc went to the MDC prison and turned pimp, y'all. And that is some...
Oh, no, you can't be serious. That is some bullshit right there.
Every other word rhyming. I'm like, who the hell is this? He like, I'm close to the beach, but I'm so far out of reach. I'm like, this nigga sound like he from the Bay. R.I.P. Mac Dre. What's wrong with this nigga? I'm like, yo, what the hell happened? I don't know what happened. He turned pimp in the prison. I don't know. That's not the place you want to turn pimp. I'm just saying. I don't think so. But look, man, we got a lot of content to get through. So we're going to fast forward a little bit on this Bricc Baby conversation. Let's get to what they was talking about, because we want to hear what Luce talking about too as well.
You heard him, that phone. Nigga want to play the phone. That phone in the long run. You recording it. Normally they got to search for what they got to look through hours and hours of phone call. You were giving them the phone call, timestamp for the phone call.
Why do that person keep saying, yeah? The hell is that?
It's on YouTube.
It's on. Bro, like, come on, like.
That's crazy.
I like how Bricc been playing it. Like, you see, he ain't really been making too much. Like, he's just checking in. Like, he clearing shit up, but like, he ain't really doing too much.
He don't. He not trying. You know, he not trying to.
In a couple more months, he like, bro, stop doing this. I don't want to keep calling my phone and seeing what's going on the internet. But at the
get the fuck up out of there. He probably he on some OG shit in there, checking niggas and doing, you know. And it's gonna get to a boiling point.
That shit could be cool right now.
It's gonna get to a boiling point. It's gonna get to a boiling point.
You got a case. You're not going.
Imagine knowing they planted evidence, tried to set you up, and even plotted on your life, just because you dared to build something powerful as a black man in America. That's what Jay Prince lived through.
Even back then, I saw where change was trying to take place in the industry, and they wasn't going.
This is Whack 100 pays a woman allegedly to impersonate an FBI agent. We know Whack 100, he's saying that Big U the one that's snitching and all of that, and Big U snitched on him as well as Luce Cannon. And Whack is a lot of things he was saying before he ain't saying now. He flipped around, but the other day he was saying that Big U ain't do nothing. He didn't think that Big U was extorting. I don't know what the hell happened. Then Academic blew up Whack 100 talking about he's extorting people. He's mad at academics. Then academics, and then Whack 100 had a run-in with Tiny Draws, allegedly. Lil Yusufa. He allegedly put hands on Whack. Whack got the happy feet away. Crowd surfed off the stage when Kanye was there. Ran past some schoolyard lokes. And this is where he got cornered. Allegedly. This all happened. So salute to everybody. Let's get to this Whack 100, because we know that he had a situation with Jay Prince. They said that did Whack talk to the feds on Jay Prince Jr.? A lot of did Whack talk to the feds? Did Whack talk to the feds talk? This is what's hensing me to talk about this. This is crazy, man. So let's get into this. Let's see what it's all about. Salute to everybody in the building. Everybody drop a like. Subscribe to On Go. Be a part of On Go. Be a part of the Go Gang. The chat is the Go Gang, whether you see it or not. The chat and everybody here that's viewing me is a part of the On Go network and a part of the Go Gang. So salute to you. Subscribe now.
Allow, I call it a conspiracy. I saw the conspiracy taking place where they wasn't going to allow any more Master P's, Cash Money, Irv Gotti.
Independent.
Yeah,
people.
independents. They was like shutting that door.
Yeah.
So, you know, in my mind, I'm like, okay, I see the move they making. Let me counter this and create another avenue for the youth to come in after us. And unfortunately, I think they witnessed the same thing, and they hit Murder Inc., which is Irv Gotti company, destroyed it. They hit Suge Knight, Death Row. We know what happened with that. And they came at me in a massive way, you know, all the way up to the point where they put a man on me that killed 8 people. And I really believe, you know, he was trying to kill me.
And when you say they put a man on you, like, in what way?
They assigned a guy by the name of Schumacher, you know, on me to arrest me, to whatever he was supposed to do, but he sent death threats at me. And here's a man that killed 8 people. You know, I hired an investigator. Since they was investigating me, I decided to hire an investigator to investigate them. And that's when I found out this guy killed all of those people. You know, I brought the investigating report so you can look at it if you choose to.
Yeah, you showed me outside. Yeah.
So, you know, this was a real life situation that people may hear and think, you know, this is not true. But here's confirmation of how true it was. In 1999, you know, I reported this with the help of Congresswoman Maxine Waters, Janet Reno, because they intervened on my behalf because they saw what was happening. And of course, they had a congressional hearing on me. All of this is public information. A congressional hearing where the DEA and, you know, it reminded me of the time when Clarence Thomas was a hearing was taking place over his harassment or something. Yeah. And all of those people, Democrat and Republicans, was around, you know what I mean, had him in a circle. So this is the conversation they was having concerning me, James Prince. And I'm watching this, you know, on video. I'm not invited, but I'm watching them have this conversation about me, about the congressional hearing. And I'm just like, wow, you know, these people want me pretty bad.
Imagine being Jay Prince. After everything he survived, a decade of harassment from the feds, and years later a guy named CS2 Back shows up on Clubhouse saying the FBI called his phone asking about him. We already know the call was fake. So the real question becomes, how was Porky allowed to hire a woman to impersonate an FBI agent? Every word that woman said while pretending to be federal law enforcement was illegal. And Porky playing along, setting the stage, helping push the lie, was also illegal. When you listen to this audio, listen to it, understanding that fact. Somehow Porky is allowed to pull off stunts like these with zero consequences. Now they're flipping the narrative, trying to convince the world that calling someone a rat is somehow obstructing an investigation.
Yeah, my only concern is that the brothers that they say they rock with him, they love him, they on his team, they have to be mindful this is an open case, and that anything they do on the internet, that it can be obstructive of justice. So if you out there delivering a message that this individual was doing this individual was that, they can use that against him, and they can use that against you. So I'm just saying, be mindful of what you're doing on the internet, because this is an open case. It's an ongoing investigation, and I don't think brothers know the serious nature of this case. This is very, very serious. And if brothers is rocking with him, if they team Big U, they need to pay attention that, look, you guys cannot do nothing that is going to jeopardize his defense. So if you're getting on the internet, you're saying this person is this and this person is that, and them people are watching. Believe me.
Hey, the feds just called my phone 2 hours ago.
What they say?
On Paru, I recorded all that.
So they be on here listening.
Yeah, they're using.
Yeah,
Yo, Phoenix, where you at? You on here?
Hold on, one mic on what? What happened? What?
The feds just called my phone 2 hours ago.
What they was talking about?
I seen this, right? So first, I've been trying to get gang passport cleared. I said, maybe it's the, the passport people, right? So I said, I ain't gonna answer. Let me put the recorder on, then call. I called back. It's the straight feds. So they asked me, have I been threatened? I said, what? Threatened by what are you talking about? They talking about the boy, right? So that let me know they on his line. They didn't heard something. Have I been threatened? I said, what? Threatened by what are you talking about? They talking about the boy, right? So that let me know they on his line. They didn't heard something.
Porky wants us to believe that the feds hit him up over Jay Prince. But they never hit him up about Big U, even though his name is all in the paperwork. His name was all in Studderbox's paperwork, too. And according to Porky, they never spoke to him about that case either.
Right? I do what a real supposed to do and clean it all the way up, like the best of friends, whatever, no issues. They pressing. What about the late? Nah, never. Just negotiations going on with the attorneys. I don't know where you getting this from, and blase, but it's letting me know they didn't heard something on that man line, on his line over there. I kept it 100. I kept it all the way solid. Actually, YG, I'm finna send it to you so you can hear it. Yeah. Dog, he's a bozo. He over there talking on that line.
Blood crazy.
When the number popped up, did it say scam likely or just? When the number popped up, did it say scam likely or just? When the number popped up, did it say scam likely or just?
No, hell no. That show you what it said right here, nigga. Hold on, I'm gonna show you PTR right now. Hell no, it say no scam likely.
You guys look at that. CS2 put a lot of work and thought into this FBI trolling attempt. But before he was even able to play his fake phone call, he exposed himself. Wack never misses an opportunity to tell the world that Big U is a dummy. But look at where his intelligence led him. CS2 backposted this picture of his call log on his Clubhouse PTR. As you can see, the millionaire diaper salesman, Cash Money CEO, misspelled the word bureau. This was back when Wack was dry snitching on Jay Prince, so he made sure the call was coming from Houston, Texas, but he just couldn't manage to spell bureau correctly. What does that tell you? It tells you that he's lying on the FBI, and that he's not as smart as he would have one to believe. He calls himself an exposer, and right here he exposed himself.
I knew what it said. I thought I did, so I didn't answer. I had to go get the app. Just in case, I call the number back. YG, I just sent it to you in Phoenix right now. Hold on, let me show you what it said. Check it out. Look what it said. PTR. Hell no, it was that. What show? You see what city?
Wow. That's nasty work. That's nasty work.
You see what city they
in Federal Bureau, Houston.
Houston.
It's Texas.
Yeah,
Yo, YG, I just
they got
you
some on the line. He's talking.
No, he talking. He talking.
Definitely.
They had him on the line. I did. Phoenix, you got a thing?
Yep, I just got it.
You got it.
I'm on mute because I'm at the arcade, but I'm listening.
Who got it? Who got the thing? Play that.
You want me to play it?
Play it. You need to know how to deal with this case in that situation.
The diaper dandy Damu Dumpling is acting like he's teaching us how to play it when the feds randomly call our phones. This shit's crazy.
Hold on, everybody meet
up. How y'all deal with this? Y'all know me and this don't see eye to eye, but you got the I see how you get caught up.
Chilling with the answer.
Yes, sir. And James Prince Sr.? I wouldn't have no information other than just me helping with a Larry Hoover project. Okay, yes, sir. Well, that's what I'm kind of wanting to talk to you about. Okay. Well, what's wrong with me working on a Larry Hoover project? No, sir. No, nothing's wrong whatsoever with it. I'm glad someone is advocating for him. That wasn't the issue. I was just information has been provided that you've had some disagreements with Mr. Prince. Are you familiar with him?
I mean, I know who he is, but I don't have no issues with Mr. Prince.
Okay. So,
I mean, a disagreement is a disagreement. I don't know how that factors in the FBI.
Well, I think Mr. Jones, on the YouTube videos going back and forth with him calling you a snitch and you calling him one, and all of that would be where we received information that there was possibly a disagreement.
Yeah, even if we did do that, why would that be interest of the FBI? Because neither one of us have any bearing cases pending against one another. We have never done any business with one another. As far as I know, Mr. Prince is a businessman as I am, so regardless of what we said to each other, as far as a snitch and not being a snitch, like why would that be interest of the FBI? That's what's kind of confusing to me.
Okay, no, I can explain that. I mean, of course, there's nothing wrong with that whatsoever. We're just making sure that no threats have been made to you from anyone associated with him over y'all's dispute.
No, I haven't. No threats have been made, nor do I feel threatened. Two men get angry, two men say things. We've both been in each other's presence from time to time. I know his children. Nah, not at all. I don't feel threatened. Was it something you guys know that I don't know? As far as I'm concerned, it's just, the daily bullshit propaganda that happens on social media.
Oh, yes, sir, I understand that, but I think you could
chilling with the answer.
Kind of understand that sometimes things go past social media, and we were provided information that possibly that something went beyond that, and so we're just calling to clarify and make sure that you haven't been threatened, or anyone that you know that have been threatened by him or his associates regarding the disputes that you've had over social media, over YouTube, over Instagram, and all of that.
No, Mr. Prince has an issue. Any threats towards me, I don't feel threatened. I've said to him the same things he said to me, and that's just two men saying things. I don't think it's that serious of a situation. As far as I know, Mr. Prince is continuing his business. He's in his community, as I am. I don't even understand. Like I said, I don't know what you guys have going on, what you guys heard. That's above my reach. But me personally, no, I haven't got any threats, nor do I feel threatened by the man.
Okay, so are y'all working together on the Free Larry Hoover project?
No, I'm not. It's not the ownership of the project is not mine. It belongs to somebody else. I'm just assisting that individual.
No,
but I did put the attorneys in contact with their family attorney. So at this point, it's not even a conversation between me and Jay Prince. It's a conversation between the individual who owns the content on my side, attorney, and the Hoover family attorney. So it's, for the last month or so, you haven't heard me and Mr. Prince say really anything to each other because there's no need to.
Okay, understandable. Mr. Jones, was there ever, I know there was I don't know, did she record an interview? I don't have her name present, but she's out of LA, and she recorded a video with Mr. Hoover at one time. Are you familiar with that?
Somebody recording a video with Mr. Hoover?
Or an interview. She conducted an interview.
Oh, yeah, we have 5 hours of interview.
Yes, sir. And at any point... Okay, and it was a female, correct? I don't have her name with me at this exact moment.
It's an elderly woman that owns it.
Yes, sir. And let me ask you this. Have you ever heard of any information that Mr. Prince or his associates has have tried to request that information, the video from her?
Oh no! Well, I was in the. I mean, I'm the one that alerted them that the footage was real and tried to merge a deal with them because they own the life rights. This is the rights of regular documentary that was recorded while he was in prison. So I just try to bring the two parties together to see if they can make it one big situation. So,
yes, sir. And so who owns the rights to that interview?
The lady who has the footage, she has the contract. I have the contract. I forward the contracts to the family attorneys. She's been on it since 1998.
Yes, sir. And did Mr. Prince attempt to get the rights to that interview?
No, he attempted to negotiate a deal if possible. And the negotiations are still going on. But I mean, that's his business. Nothing wrong with him negotiating.
Oh, absolutely not. I'm not implying that whatsoever. Just some information that we received was that the documentary, the businesswoman didn't want to really give up the documentary and possibly could have been pressured to do so.
No, I don't know anything about her being pressured. She had a conversation on my phone. It was just a simple business conversation. When you're doing business, there's always offer. Either you're going to accept the offer or you're going to continue to negotiate. So as of right now, we're still negotiating. She's negotiating. It's just the two attorneys are talking and they're figuring it out. Other than that, Mr. Prince has been a close friend to the Hoover family. He's done a lot of business, overseen a lot of business, so the man is well in his right to attempt to negotiate. But that's all it was negotiations, no more, no less.
Okay, well, I appreciate your time. Thank you so much for talking to me. If you want to keep my number and anything comes up or you hear of anything dealing with any type of threat and so we just have to follow up. And so I just thought I would talk to you directly instead of, just
these things are all in fun and games. A lot of times we play the media because we got events coming up. We got artists' things coming up. You know what I mean? So, kind of like the social media is not all real. A lot of it is fictional. A lot of it is just, it's pre-thought out to put some attention on something we want them to look at. But me and Mr. Prince, we're good. The lady who has the footage, she's good. The attorneys are talking. I can forward you my counsel's number. His name is Alex Kessel. If you want to get a hold of me, you can call him, and then we can take it from there. But other than that, there's no problems on this side. And I would hope to believe there's no problems on Mr. Prince's side.
Yes, sir. No, and I'm not saying that there is. We're just following up. Y'all two are both well-known individuals, pillars in your community, like you said. But I think you can also understand our point of view that, sometimes people in general kind of take one side or the other and they take it a little bit too far. And I'm not saying Mr. Prince has taken anything too far. I'm not saying you have taken anything too far. Just as you know, when it becomes publicized, other people can take it a little bit too far. So I was just calling to make sure that everything was good, that you're safe, that you don't feel threatened in any way, that everything was good.
Not at all. Not at all.
That's all, folks.
Jesus, Lord Christ. Whack 100, bruh. Whack 100. Whack 100. We also got the sister right here going into a story. We still got to get to Tory Lanez, right? We going to get into Tory Lanez while we doing intermission. Let's take a listen.
And that's cool. Hey, there's a soulmate for everybody. I believe that. And I wholeheartedly believe they are 100% soulmates. You know what I'm saying? 120%. And I think Sharice doesn't understand. Like, she seems to run with this narrative like, I want Cannon. And I want her to know, and I'm trying not to get emotional, but when Cannon, like, I was thanking God when Cannon met her. Like, I wanted to get out so bad. That Sharice saved my fucking life. I'm so happy when he found somebody else to torture.
Yo, T.
I thank God every day that he met her. And I pray to God that she stays with him as long as she can. Until I'm finally free, you know? It's I'm not even trying to get emotional, but being with somebody who breaks you down and beats you to the point of you know, beyond recognition to where you don't even realize who you are anymore. You can only thank God that, you know, you're set free. And I thank her every day that she came along, because I didn't know how much longer I was gonna last being with him. He was killing me every day. Every day he was killing me. Piece of me died every day. And you know, nobody knew anything. Even though they saw the black eyes and this and that, you know, you lie for him, you know. Even when he tried to kill me, I still didn't press charges. I didn't. The only reason why he has the domestic violence case is because the beating was so bad that the hotel witnesses came forward and they testified against him. And I guess now I just felt like I was so weak then, you know. I never said anything. I never stood up for myself. And I don't want my daughter to think that that's love, or I don't want her to think that. I don't want her to ever feel like, I don't want her to be afraid to stick up for herself, because she's afraid of what everybody's going to say or think. That's why I stayed in it for so long, you know. Afraid of this, afraid of judgment, afraid of people, him turning people against you with the lies and the false stories. Because you know he's so good at it. He's so good at it, right? So good at it. And you know you're going to be alone. Nobody's going to believe you. Even with black eyes, police reports, broken ribs. So that's why I started speaking out. I just want to be someone my daughter can be proud of, or any woman that's going through it, you know. I want the next woman to know that there's always a way out. And even though the internet is undefeated, and even though you think people don't care, if some woman can hear my story and know that, just pray. And there's somebody else who knows what you're going through. And there's always a way out. So that's the reason why I started speaking out. I just want my daughter to know that, I just want her to be proud of me. I never stood up through all the beatings and the abuse. I never said anything. I felt ashamed and I felt it was my fault. I accepted it. You know, I deserved it. Because you knew, you let it slide the first time and you keep allowing it. So it's like, you deserve it, right? That's what you're thinking. So anyways, so that's a lot of the reason too. Like I said, Sharice has to understand it's not jealousy. I think her every day. She's what saved my life. Like you said in the chat or in the question, I don't think I would have ever got out had that not happened,
Rough, man. It's a rough one, man. Shout out to Gigi Adams. This is Luce Cannon's ex-wife. She just speaking her story. Got to a part of really, really heartfelt breaking down, and it's a lot, you know what I mean? It's a part of one of her videos, you know what I mean, that really, really hit me really hard, you know what I'm saying? Understanding this, you know what I mean? So, it's not about us casting judgment on this or that or this and this and that. It's just about hearing everybody's sides that's in this story, because everybody has a side in this story. And in this part of her story, you know what I'm saying, I think it's very, very heartfelt, very, very heartbreaking as well for two women, right, that's not getting along with each other, you know what I mean? Maybe for the reason that they have the man involved in the middle, because it don't seem like the two women really have anything really personally. It's maybe that they have Luce in the middle. I would think, this is my own opinion, I would think, you know what I mean? Because she's been making these videos and I haven't seen Sharice like challenging and coming at, and I don't know, maybe I'm not seeing no videos, but I haven't seen that. So, you know what I mean? So, you know what I mean? So at the end of the day, you know what I mean, just to hear her side of the story, you know what I mean, don't know if Sharice is going to come out and speak to this, because I know that they've been going through things for years and speaking about stuff for years online, on Clubhouse, different things going on, Luce involved as well, speaking out, them all speaking, even though some of us, we're now hearing of these things, and these things are now hearing and hitting our ears. But it's been going on for a while, you know what I mean, and I don't really like to see the sisters beefing like that, you know what I mean, me personally. Especially when they really don't know each other like that. They might know each other through years of being with the same type person, but it's not like they was friends and all of that, and like it was a backstab mission like that. Yeah, man, it's a lot going on. She's been coming out for a while, Gigi. She's been on street TV and different platforms for a while, but it seems like her story was falling on deaf ears more, even though she was on street TV, which is a big platform. And, the story was getting out there, and I've seen many thumbnails and different things like that, but it seems that that her being on a big platform is not the thing that's doing it for her. You know what I'm saying? Her being on a big platform, 100,000, 300,000, whatever, it's 700,000 million, and her story being held back still. Now she come on her little channel, start her own little thing. She had a couple hundred subscribers, and it seems like her story is getting a little more traction now, and people are up to hearing what she got to say. You know what I mean? She come in the stream, she got her little bop, her little bubble vibe. You know what I mean? So everybody got their story. Everybody got their. We all on the outside, and we ain't got no horses in the race because we don't know none of these people personally. You know what I mean? What we do know is that Luce is caught in a Rico. A bad situation. Bricc is caught in a Rico. Bad situation. And Big U as well as everybody else. All right, we do see that people still doing content plays and things like that. We heard in this stream, he's talking about, Bricc and Luce, they kicked each other out of cells and Luce rolled it up and all this other stories, whatever the case may be. I don't believe in that they was ever in the same cell. Allegedly, I heard that Bricc was banged up with a white boy with a mohawk, and I don't know how he's doing it.
Oh, no, you can't be serious. That is some bullshit right there.
And Luce is banged up in a cell with a Spanish norteño serreño, so I don't know what's going on with that. Maybe the Spanish is black, brown, brown and black love, brown and black love, brown and brown love, y'all. So you know what I mean? But Luce and Bricc, they ain't in no cell. We hear that Bricc come out to say, nah, man, he was never in a cell with me. So we understand that y'all got some content play going on. So what, this is also a content play too, that y'all wasn't in a cell and y'all are in a cell. He was in the same door. He was upstairs and this and this and that. But now he's rolled out or he's moved, allegedly. But when Bricc says he's moved, he doesn't say that he really rolled it up. He said, I ain't gonna say he rolled it up, but he ain't dead. This all sound like some fake content play shit. I don't know what's going on. What I do know is that Big U ain't dealing with the both of them. Luce Cannon been going on for years against Big U, And Bricc Baby was supposed to be down with the neighborhood, but the feds named in the paperwork that he's a self-proclaimed Crip, and they said that a couple of times, and the feds know who's a Crip in a Crip investigation. Salute to that. Yes, they do. Not salute to the feds, but they know exactly who the hell they talking about. So they keep calling Bricc Baby a self-proclaimed Crip. Okay, so when Bricc Baby jumps out the window with this content play and tries to get this money with Luce Cannon, get this money, sell some shirts, get some money, you know what he also do? Excludes himself from the Road to 60s Crips, gets himself kicked out of the whip even more if he wasn't kicked out the whip already. So now it looks like Luce Cannon's probably one of the only friends he got besides the one of the only little friends he got. Shout out to them being the only little friends. Because everybody that's under a Big U in the Rolling City, they might be leaning more to deal with Big U or take Big U side than taking Bricc Baby or Luce Cannon side. So that's the story about that. Now back to the Hobbs Act. We got Hobbs Act charges and different things like that going on now. All right, some people was online. I heard Young Aunt Hefe talk about he only got a robbery. He could come home. This ain't the state. I understand Young Aunt Hefe been behind the walls too and all that. He did little certain times. I don't know if it was Fed. I don't know. I think I heard something like that too, Young Aunt Hefe. So I don't want to speak on you and put nobody in no Fed charges, but. You know what I mean? I heard Young Aunt Hefe saying, you know what I mean, he just got a robbery. I heard Seti Nash, somebody saying that he could probably bust case and come home. He only got a robbery, but this is just not a simple robbery. No, it's not, y'all. This is a Hobbs Act robbery, and it's looking like a Hobbs Act extortion. I went on my channel and did case-by-case comparisons of people, like 4 or 5 people that had Hobbs Act charges, because we only compare cases by cases, not our mind, not, yo, I was in my charges, and yo, that's how come you was this. No. Let's go by. Bring your case if you think it's true too. Bring your case, throw it in there, but also bring other people's cases as well, and you take a look at them and compare them, all right? When you look at the Hobbs Act, I went through 3 or 4 cases, 5 or so. When you look at one case, he had 2 attempted Hobbs Act, and he was offered 252 months for those. One guy had 1, but he had a weapons charge, which is a 924C, and we understand in federal paperwork that these guys did do allegedly the dispensary robbery with a weapon. Once one man possesses the weapon, anybody in the conspiracy, I am guilty of what my conspirator do or my co-conspirator does. So now once we use a weapon in furtherance of this crime, this drug trafficking crime, this conspiracy related crime, this enterprise related crime, now not only do you get charged for the weapon, I can be charged for the weapon as well. So there will be maybe other charges falling down and supersedence. Okay? This is salute to everybody that's watching us. The charges, the applause is for us. It's not applaud that this new charge is coming down, because it looks like it will be. They're looking like they're saying that they might be formally charging Big U with the M of RW. We don't know how that is and how true that is. You know what I'm saying? We ain't running around praying for M's on people, right? It's crazy. But we did see that they stated it in the paperwork. It's already listed all in the paperwork and everything. So they are pushing in the case, but sometimes they do that just to strengthen their case and just to put things on there. But we've heard that they said that they're going to formally charge him. We've seen that Big U was charged also, they're saying, with obstruction. Is looking like some kind of formal charges like this. In relation to the two Instagram videos that he did, just speaking out on his own behalf. I don't think he was trying to just turn people against him and turn all of us against Bricc, Luce, and all of them, because I think everybody, either you deal with Bricc, Luce, and all of them, or you don't. So I don't think that Big U had a role to play in that. But the way the people take it or the people make it, they said, listen, man, Big U summoned out to all his people not to deal with his co-defendants. So that's a sad situation, because they be looking like that could be obstruction leading to things like that. Okay, so I told you about the Hobbs Acts and different things, the way they trying those Hobbs Acts. They're not playing. They're dealing with them like M's. You getting basically 51-month range is going up from 51 months and up. This is how they playing with you. 5, 7, 10, 15 life. That's how they going with you. Life. It's like 10 life or something like that. Usually you'll get a 120 months when you're dealing with these kinds of crimes or you're dealing with these types of cases, all right? This is how that's going on. Bricc also has some robbery charges allegedly that he's caught up into. I still don't know to the gravity of how they're charging Bricc Baby's cases. We just know that on Luce Cannon's case and on his attention hearing, we saw that they put on the paper, they wrote in blue, they wrote robbery/extortion. So we understand that that's not one charge. So when even Aunt Hefe or Seti Nash said he possibly could beat this, that's not one charge. Because in the Hobbs Acts, robbery and extortion are 2 separate charges. Even though it falls under the same probably bracket, it's 2 separate charges, okay? Because robbery is taken by force, and we understand that extortion is taken by threat, or you could be taken by abuse of power, because you don't have to threaten somebody. You could just use your power and abuse it, and you could be threatening a person and extorting them. So we understand that to be 2 separate charges. So that's on that base alone. Luce Cannon has 2 charges alone, not knowing if they're going to fall down and throw down a 924C or a 924J. That's if it's usually 924Js that we dealing with more serious things. So it'll be a 924C most likely in this case because it wasn't no violence really in this case right there, in the case with Luce Cannon. So it wasn't no real violence, so it'd probably be a 924C if the case, because a weapon was used. We've seen in the other paperwork that came down. A weapon was used as well. So, you know what I mean? Hopefully they don't get hit with 924Cs. Because if you get not hit with the 924C, in the one case that I read, one guy, he had the two people actually, Justin and David. They were two brothers or cousins, all right? And Justin Taylor and David Taylor. And they had two attempted Hobbs robberies because they went on a failed robbery because it failed. So it wasn't even a completed robbery. We understand that Luce Cannon and them allegedly is a part of a successful robbery and a successful extortion. So that's not an attempted extortion. That's not attempted Hobbs. You can get attempted Hobbs. You can get attempted extortion. You know what I mean? I don't know attempted extortion. I don't know. You know what I mean? Because you extorting somebody or you not. You know what I mean? But attempted robbery, you know what I'm saying, under the Hobbs is a thing. So he got two attempted Hobbs and he had the weapon because they used the weapon while he was furthering the crime. So they said, listen, we're going to give you 252 months for the two attempted, right? And then we're going to give you 84 months for the 924C, okay? So if a weapon is thrown on them, because if one person possessed it, everybody possessed it. That's how that works. So they might draw these charges at first, knowing that they're going to come with the other things to supersede, and they know that they're going to be dropping these other things. That is going to be hard because a lot of times these feds, these prosecutors, these people, they don't want to show their whole hand to you. Why would they show their whole hand to you? You know what I'm saying? So we have to think about these types of things. So salute to everybody for letting me get through that. You know what I mean? Just that update for y'all as I'm updating y'all. Salute to this queen on my screen right here. Salute to her, Gigi Adams. Make sure y'all go and check the channel. Her Gigi, that's the name. I'm her Gigi. Check out Gigi Adams' channel. Her name is Gigi. It's gonna say Gigi as the name. So you're gonna have to find her like that because if you don't, I don't know. Good luck. You probably got to put Gigi Luce Cannon or something because her name is Gigi and it's a million quadrillion Gigis on internet. You know what I'm saying? Not comparing her to anyone else. So salute to everybody. You already know the vibe. Salute to everybody that's rocking. I want everybody to hit that poll. Do who you think snitch? Who you think what's going on? Do you think anybody snitched? If nobody did, that's the type of things that we like to understand what's going on. I do want to play a little bit of the Tory so that we can preface this because we will be doing a further breakdown of the Tory because I heard some other things, y'all. Heard some other things. Hopefully they spring Tory as well. As you know, Tory is also on my album. Salute to that. You know what I mean? I got a record with Tory, as well as Mano. A few other artists is on my album. At the end of the stream, I'll play the record with Mano. I'll probably play a snippet of the Tory record. I always be teasing it, you know what I mean? But, you know what I mean? It's a big record, you know what I mean, that I got with him. And I never dropped it, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, I just wanted to be real special when I drop it. So salute to everybody. Free Tory in the building, you already know. We ain't judging nobody, you know what I'm saying? If he in there doing his time, he in there doing his time. You know what I mean? What we doing? He charged. If he did it, he didn't do it. Whatever happened. All right. So whatever, man. Everybody that's in the kennel, we just want our people get about them jail cells, get our lives on track, and get to doing the thing the right way. That's all we want for our brothers. It's for them to get on the right tracks, get about that cane, and do what they got to do. That's it, man. So salute to that. You heard?
Like, that's the thing. Like, I'm not even in here in my mind. Like, I know I'm already out on the street. Like, God already showed me I'm coming out. So I'm not even, like, I don't even be paying attention. I be forgetting I'm in here sometimes. Like, even when people see me, they be like, yo, you just got a light. Like, you're not even in here. Like, you're not even, and it's true.
Bro, you always had the light, though. But you come on, man. You always had
but
this.
I ain't gonna lie. It's one thing to be able to shine in a world where, you know, the world is your ignition, right? It's able to shine in a place like that where the world is the ignition to your fire, but in a place that's dark and where there is no ignition and there is no spark plug, it's very hard to keep that light. Even if you come in with it, it's very hard to keep it. And so, you know, for me, I've always just had a great relationship with God, and that's really what's always made me to be a beacon of light to people that I come in contact with, you know. And regardless of whatever I'm going through, I'm an adapter. I adapt to everything. You know, I was homeless when I was 14 years old, bro. So at the end of the day, like, it was nothing for me to adapt to a cell. You know, if I could adapt to a park slide, sleeping on a park slide, I could adapt to a cell.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, hey, man, you said a lot of things to me, man. So let me just get into that. We want to know Tory Lanez. Touch on Tory Lanez, and we'll go from the past and to the present and to the future. So tell me, Tory Lanez, from upbringing, Canada, from your different travels, your trials and tribulations. Tell me some of that stuff, man, that we talked about, and I just want you to lay it out there and let people know, because there's a lot of people don't know a lot of things that you told me I didn't even know.
Absolutely, no, absolutely. The thing is what a lot of people don't know is, like, really for me, I was really much raised in Florida more than anything. A lot of people, because of where my nationality is and like where my background is, and because of my birthplace, a lot of people just associate me with Toronto and Canada alone. But the reality of it is like I was really raised in Florida, Miami, more than I was raised in Canada. From when I was a kid, I lived in Orlando at a very early age. I went to like first grade, kindergarten, and stuff like that in Orlando. Went up to Canada for about a year.
Can you turn her into a housewife? That's a no.
Salute to everybody in the building. You already know the vibe. You already know the vibe. I appreciate everybody rocking out with us. Everybody that's on go. All right? This channel's called On Go because we all on go, man. My name is OOTA. I'm on go. I'm not playing with nobody, bro. Trust me. Don't push it. I'm not. I know you ain't playing with nobody. Even if you thought you was before, you was young, you was being bullied. Don't matter. You're not playing with nobody right now. And being on go ain't just about violence. It's about lifting our voices. It's about helping other people that's weaker and helping, confident people, helping shy people to be stronger too, man. Salute to that, man. That's what's gangster to me. Not just lifting up a drug, lifting up a strap. Since a kid, bro. Straight, man. I grew up doing these types of dumb stuff. At the end of the day, that's not gangster to me. That's not gangster. Being gangster is helping somebody else, man. Helping somebody that's younger than you, man. For our women, every woman that's watching me right now, salute to you. I want you to go back and make sure you're helping a younger woman, man. A younger girl that's younger than you. Every man watching me, make sure you help him back. A younger guy that's younger than you, man. Dropping some jewels on them, man. Even if we get accredited for those things or not, it don't matter, man. We are helping our own future, man. Even if you don't think we helping ourselves, we are, man. Salute to that. You hear me? Everybody hit subscribe button if you're not subscribed. You heard? Listen, man, this song I'm dropping, this a little intermission. You know how we do it, man. This song I will be dropping this summer is coming, man. The video is coming this summer. You already know. This is me and Mano. I'm singing, he rapping on it. I rap, I sing, I do all this. I write music for people in the industry as well. I've been doing that since like 12 years old, man. It's crazy. Writing music for grown people. So salute to that. Salute to people. For y'all to keep getting to know me every day. Y'all just might think I'm just a YouTuber. Nah, I'm just here just talking with y'all, talking about topics I want to talk about. Because I think God brought me here back because I got 11 channels that's all monetized. But I left a lot of YouTube. I left YouTube alone. But God brought me back here to speak, and you see that money doesn't drive me. I don't do what I do for money. I help everybody I can every single day on this internet. All I tell y'all to do is reach out to me on Instagram. Hit me, OOTA on Go, the same channel. If you need my help, social media. I know a lot of things about SEO, this, that, so many things. I've worked with big channels, helping them. I do graphics. I do so many things, but I can help you in so many ways just to tell you and help you to get started by monetizing your channels. If I can monetize 100,000 channels, then I did some good. And if I could do more, that's my mission right now. So, you know what I mean? Whether you like me or not, whether you like it or not, I'm really on my own mission. You know what I mean? And God got me, regardless. So if you believe in God, drop a 7 in the chat. If you believe in Jesus, drop a 7 in the chat. Getting caught up, man. Shannon, okay? Shannon got caught up, okay? All of this going on, all right? Look at this right now. Tory Lanez. It's crazy work. It's crazy work. So hence this record that I'm about to drop right now, ain't no pun on no calling nobody no names. You know what I mean? Because I believe that both men and women can be hoes. Shout out to all the ex-hoes that's and the recovering hoes. Straps. So I'm a recovering hoe myself. I ain't gonna lie to you. Straight. I was outside on the street. But salute to everybody, man. You already know the vibe, man. We're gonna take a listen to this record. This is me featuring Mano on my new album. It's called OOTA, OOTA, OOTA. It's called OOTA. And you already know I'm on go.
Thought she was broke, she was really about her name. Took her, but she got a man, she was fucking me too. On the road, that's what she do.
Stranger in my house, like to me, I wonder why. Nothing like laying down with a motherfucker that love. Said she only see you, I see deception on her eyes. She with me and my God, my God. How could I fall in love with her when my homie used to fall with her? Shit, I met her in the club.